Hello my beautiful friends, my name is Devika. I am a children's book author and illustrator. Those who have seen my previous videos know that I'm a huge fan of wordless picture books. This week I got really lucky because I found this fabulous brand new wordless picture book called Another. It's done by Christian Robinson and this book got published last month, that is April. This is a very interesting yet very bizarre book, and let me tell you why. So let's begin with the first page. You see this dark room and this girl is sleeping, and there is her black cat with a red collar, and this red mouse is this cat's toy. And on the next page we see this porthole and another cat, a similar looking cat, black cat, but this cat has a blue collar peeping through the porthole, and that cat comes and steals this toy. So the cat with a red collar decides to follow this cat with a blue collar, and the girl does the same and she enters this portal. And from this point you have to turn this book upside down to see what happens next. I just thought it's very interesting, and that's why I said that this book is interesting yet very bizarre. So she's trying to follow her cat, and I just love the usage of color and the blank space, and this artist, he has used collages. I think this red is a paper and the girl and the cat, they are the drawings, and they go from one portal to another, and for this part you have to turn your book on the left side. So this black cat with a blue collar who has stolen the mouse, you see that cat here, the red collar cat is following this cat, and the girl, she's following her cat. And that's how, again, you have to turn the book and see what happens next. I thought this page is really interesting because the thing here, it's a conveyor belt. The girl and her cat are on the upper side, and this thief cat is downwards. And as they go from one portal to another, they come across this room which is full of kids, and if you observe carefully, you will find that every kid has their alternate version. If you see this kid wearing red, a similar kid you will find here wearing blue. Exactly like this girl with a toy bear, and her alternate version is over here. So this is very interesting, and as they go on they come across more kids and their alternate versions. And what happens over here is this girl and her cat find their alternate selves. For that you have to turn the book. It's a similar girl, but there is a blue design on her frock, and the cat with a blue collar with a toy, the cat who has stolen the toy. And they just look at each other, and on the following page, this girl, she returns her toy. So you will see it here. And that's how they go back to their room and sleep. So the story ends from where it started. So far so good. And what I found very interesting, that after I finished this book, on these end pages, both front and back, you will see this beautiful drawing of space with different planets, different galaxies. And on the back cover you will see this girl with a telescope. So it's a very interesting story I found, and why I like wordless pictured books is because when you don't have words, what do? You create your own story, and my story is since when I found these end pages, is I think the author, he wants to say that there are people similar to us, maybe on some other planet or maybe in some other galaxy, because every kid and every animal find their alternate versions in this book. So it's a very interesting book, and that is the beauty of wordless books, that they cater for a wide range, a wide age group. So even though it is specified that this book is for age 4 to 8, I would say this book is just appropriate for 2 to 8, because for really young kids, I'm sure they are going to love the different shapes and colors, and the cat and the small mouse toy. And for little older kids, I'm sure they will come up with their own story. So I highly recommend this book. It's a new book called Another by Christian Robinson. So do check it out. Now let's move on to our second book. Since we have been talking about how one thing leads to another, the second book, it has a very similar theme. It's called If You Give a Mouse a Brownie. This book is from the series If You Give. It's a very famous series. It's a contemporary classic, and this is the ninth book from the series. And the readers who don't know about the writer and the illustrator of this series, it's a great story. Like every every series starts with If You Give. So I'll show you the back cover. I have read all the 8 books, and so how I came across this book is one of my authors. I was doing illustrations for her, and she told me that, have you seen the illustrations done by Felicia Bond? And I just googled, and I came across this fabulous book series, and I absolutely love all the books, and I was so much looking forward to this one, which got published 2 years ago. But I hadn't read this, and fortunately I found it, and I just wanted to tell the people, the parents and kids, those who don't know about this series, do check it out. It's Every book has a circular story. It ends where it started. So let's talk about this book. It's written by Laura Numeroff, and the illustrations are done by Felicia Bond. The illustrations are beautiful. I just love how simple they look, and I absolutely love simple and clear line style. I'm a huge fan of that style. I use that style myself. That's why these illustrations appeal to me a lot. So let me tell you a story. It starts with this line: if you give a mouse a brownie, it will ask for ice cream. If you give him the ice cream, he will ask for spoons. And that's how this story goes on and on. So this boy gives the spoon, and the mouse decides to start a band, because he starts playing drums with the spoons, and they print the pamphlets and suddenly the rain starts, and this mouse, he makes a nice small paper boat, and the story goes on and on. Every book has similar kind of but very interesting and fun stories. The illustrations, I love all her illustrations, and the text is super simple. And as you can see, the story ends where it had begun. Like, he will want a brownie to go with, because previously this boy has given the mouse ice cream. So you have to check it out. It's a great book for kids who are between 4 to 8. So the series is called If You Give. and I'm going to give the Amazon links for both the books down below. And if you have any comments or book recommendations, do let me know. So I'll meet you guys again next week with two fantastic books. And till then, take care. Bye bye.